Hi, today we are discussing about social group work. First of all, definition of social work. Social work is a profession concerned with helping individuals, families, groups, and communities to enhance their individual and collective well-being. It aims to help people develop their skills and their ability to use their resources and those of community to resolve problems. What are the primary methods of social work? Casework, group work, and community organization. The secondary method of social work are social action, social welfare administration, and social work research. Let us think about the definition of group work. Group work is a method of social work which helps individuals to enhance their social functioning through purposeful group experiences and to cope more effectively with their personal, group, or community problems. This definition is given by Konopka in 1964. And what is the philosophy of group work? The idea behind forming group work is become self-sufficient and to get institutionalized as the time passes. Which are the objectives of group work? To teach the individual to live and work together and participate in the group activities for their intellectual, emotion, and physical growth. The second objective is to live a good life within the group and family. The individual is also taught to work together with other people and participate in different activities. The third objective is to develop individual personality and behavior by using different group work processes. Next objective is to prepare the individual to learn how to save responsibility in a democracy style of working. Next one is to give opportunity to them who have potentiality, worth, and dignity of leadership. Next objective is to make best use of leisure time. Another one is to learn division of labor and specialization of role just to indicate to play individual role in the group. Another objective is to provide suitable tasks to the individual according to his or her skill, knowledge, and interest. Next one is to widen one's own horizon, to prepare people for social change, and the last objective is to apply group therapy in need of physical, mental, and emotional adjustment. What is the history of social group work? The history of social group work is divided into three. The first one is evolution of social group work in the United States, that is pre-1930s. The second one is the mid-30s to the 1950s. And the third one is the 1960s to the present. And the evolution of social group work in United States pre-1930s consists of the first one is the ethics of Judeo-Christian religions and something related with the settlement house movements, charitable and humanitarian effort during that period. Another point which we have to think in that period is theories eminent in progressive education, especially those of John Dewey in 1910. Sociological theories about the nature of relationship between man and society, the democratic ethic articulated by early social philosophers, the psychoanalytic theories of Rank and Sigmund Freud, the practice wisdom, theory building, education and research effort of early social group workers, early theoretical research and practice efforts of Grace Coyle, Wilbur, and Neva Boyd, the way for the advancement and development of social group work during that period influenced social group work a lot. And the second is the mid-30s to the 1950s. That is, especially we have to think about two famous group workers. That is, first one is Gisela Konopka and the second person is Harry Bradley Trecker. Konopka, born in February 11, 1910 in Berlin, Germany, Gisela. Konopka's outstanding career in youth and adolescent services, social work, education, and history is reflected in her litany. All my life, he said that, all my life I have been fighting for justice and for respect for all people. I abhor any arrogance related to race, religion, nationality, appearance, sex, age, intelligence, profession, money, etc. That arrogance is wrong. What is important is what a person is and does for the community, he says. Some works by Gisela Konopka, therapeutic group work with children, concepts and methods of social work, Social Group Work, A Helping Process are some of his famous works. And Harry Bradley Tucker, he born in 1911 and he died in 1986. He born in Calgary, Illinois, attended George William College in Chicago, where he received his Bachelor of Science degree in 1934. In 1938, he obtained his master's degree from the University of Chicago. Upon completing his formal education, Tucker embarked upon a career in social work from 1938 to 1941. He was an instructor at George Williams College. From 1941 to 1951, he taught at the University of Southern California. He attained the position of professor at USC in 1949. In 1951, Tucker moved to the University of Connecticut, where he served as dean until 1968. From 1968 until his retirement in 1977, he served as University Professor of Social Work. The University Board of Trustees named the school's library after him. And the third one is the 1960s to the present, related with the history of group work. That is, the 1960s and the 1970s saw the expansion of the social welfare state, the Vietnam War, the emergence of the war on poverty, the women's rights movement, the Black Power movement, and the lesbian and gay rights movement. All the above social, intellectual, and cultural factors influenced the social work profession, including social group work. With such a wide range of social and therapeutic needs, there seemed to be an even greater appreciation of group work. Having expanded into differing practice settings, the purpose and goals of group work had been more broadly described at this juncture than in previous decades. And what is the relevance and scope of social group work? The scope of group work can best be considered in two dimensions. Firstly, in its role in traditional programs with their original purposes, and secondly, in social development. Both of this would be more illuminating in a historical perspective. And the relevance and scope of social group work. What is in the history, the relevance and scope of social group work? With the breakdown of the caste system and the joint family and the resulting insecurity in a fast-changing society, group approaches are most invaluable in providing the sense of belonging and the accelerated learning that occurs within the group. Problems of poverty and lack of resources combined with interpersonal and intrapersonal tensions can be so overwhelming that sharing these with others and seeking solutions jointly in groups is a method of problem solving. And what is the current scope of group work? The first one is group work is used in group psychoanalysis, group psychotherapy, ego strengthening, sensitivity training, self-awareness training, etc. The second current scope is group work mentioned can be used in developmental programs related to health, family welfare, education, community development, and housing. The third current scope is group workers must strive for social action and social change even in remedial and clinical settings. In the educational field, group workers can work with slow learners, school dropouts, parent-teachers association, vocational guidance centers, etc. And what do you mean by the current trends in group work? Knowledge of individual behavior and the characteristics of small groups, now extended in cultural literature to larger groups and social movements, of their potentialities for participants and mean to modify group process and interaction, and the use of program media and the proper planning constitute the fundamental basis for competence. And which are the values of group work? All the values in group work can concluded as the first one is respect for persons and their autonomy. And the second is the creation of a social just society. And which are the principles of group work? The principles of group work are given by H.B. Tucker. That is, the first one is the principle of planned group formation. And the second one is the principle of specific objectives. The third one is the principle of purposeful worker-group relationship. The fourth one is principle of continuous individualization in group work. And the fifth one is the principle of guided group interaction. The principle of democratic group self-determination is the sixth one. Seventh point is principle of flexible functional organization. Next one is principle of progressive program experiences. The principle of resource utilization is the ninth one. And finally, the 10th one is principle of evaluation in social group work. So these are the 10 principles related with the social group work. And next, we are going to think about what is group. Definition is a common conceptualization of the small group drawn from the social work literature is a social system consisting of two or more persons who stand in status and role relationship with one another and possessing a set of norms or values which regulate the attitudes and behaviors of the individual members in matters of consequences to the group. And what are the characteristics of a group? A group is a system of relationship among persons. Therefore, group as a social system has a structure and some degree of stability in interaction, reciprocity, interdependence, and group bond. Open social systems do not exist in a vacuum. They are part of and transact with their surroundings. Thus, group is a collection of people who need each other in order to work on certain common tasks, and the social group worker provides a hospitable environment, that is in the agency setting, to achieve those tasks that is rational for group services in social. And which are the different types of group? The first one is open and closed group. The second one is treatment groups. Some examples for treatment groups are resocialization group, therapeutic groups, and T groups. And third one is task-oriented groups. Some examples are forum, committees, and work team. And the fourth one is developmental groups. Some examples, self-help groups and support groups. And which are the different role of groups in development of individual? That is, the different role of a group worker are, the first one is empowerer. A group worker can act as an empowerer in a group, enabler, teacher, advocate, coordinator, leader, motivator, or facilitator, and he can also guide the group. And these are the things in module 1. And next we are moving to the module 2, that is group process. First of all, the stages of group process. The different stages in a group process are, the first one is orientation. It can be called as forming stage. And the second one is power struggle or storming stage. And the third one is cooperation and integration, that is norming stage. And the next one is synergy, that is performing stage. And the last one is closure, that is adjourning stage. So these 5 stages are normally said as forming stage, storming stage, norming stage, performing stage, and adjourning stage. And what are the factors in a group process? The different factors associated with group process is bond, acceptance, isolation, rejection, conflict, and control. And what do we mean by subgroups? A subgroup is a collection of people who identify themselves as members of a group that is also part of a larger social system to which they belong. Example, student club in a college. And what is a sociogram? A sociogram is a graphic representation of social links that a person has. It is a graph drawing that plots the structure of interpersonal relations in a group situation. So here this is a diagrammatic representation of a sociogram, and the blue circle is representing individual. And person with the highest relationship with others are very important in a group, and least one is less important in a group. So from this diagram, we can see that certain individuals have more relationship with others, that is more connections with other individuals. And so they are very important in a group. And some of them have very less connection with other individuals, and they are less important in a group. And another technique for understanding the relationship between individuals is sociometry. Sociometry is a quantitative method for measuring social relationships. It is the study of interpersonal relationship of people in a group, and this concept is developed by psychotherapist Jacob L. Moreno and Helen Hall Jennings. It helps to the study of evolution of groups and position of individual in them. And here is a definition of sociometry, that is, sociometry is a method for describing, discovering, and evaluating social status, structure, and development through measuring the extent of acceptance or rejection between individuals in groups. Friends defines sociometry as a method used for the discovery and manipulation of social configuration by measuring the attractions and repulsions between individuals in a group. And the next is the functional and non-functional role of individuals in group. Three main type of functions for individuals in a group. That is, the first one is task role, and the second one is social and maintenance role, and the third one is dysfunctional roles. And which are the task roles? The first one is an individual in a group can act as an initiator or a contributor. He can act as information seeker, information giver, opinion seeker, opinion giver, elaborator, diagnostician, coordinator, orienter, energizer, evaluator, and secretary. And which are the maintenance role of individuals in a group? Supporter, encourager, harmonizer, tension reliever, conciliator, gatekeeper, feeling expresser, and follower. And certain dysfunctional roles of an individual in a group are blocker, aggressor, deserter, dominator, recognition seeker, and playboy. And what is group dynamics? Group dynamics can be defined as it is a system of behaviors and psychological processes occurring within a social group, that is intergroup dynamics, or between social group, that is intergroup dynamics. What is group formation? During the first phase, team members do not know each other very well and can be impersonal, guarded, and polite. They are also waiting and watching for how things will unfold. This stage in a group is called group formation, or the first stage in a group. And what is group norm? Norms can be defined as the acceptable standard of boundaries of acceptable and unacceptable behavior shared by group members. And what is group cohesiveness? Cohesiveness refers to the bonding of group members or unity, feelings of attraction for each other, and desire to remain part of the group. And what is group culture? Groups tend to develop their own culture over time based on knowledge, beliefs, practices, and behaviors their members hold in common. A culture is a set of shared beliefs, attitudes, knowledge, practices, artifacts, and behaviors. And what is group control? Group control is simply means control over a group. And what is group morale? Group morale equally is a major factor to bind the group members together. Morale refers to team spirit or unity of the group. Each and every group has a social structure. And what is communication? The sharing or exchanging of intimate thoughts and feelings, especially on a mental or spiritual level. And interaction means a situation where two or more people or things communicate with each other or react to each other. And decision making in a group. Group decision making. Group decision making, also known as collaborative decision making. It is a situation faced when individuals collectively make a choice from the alternatives before them. The decision is then no longer attributable to any single individual who is a member of the group. And what is goal setting? Setting group goals also help a group determine which activities to conduct. Goals are the ends group members hope to accomplish, and activities are the means to those ends. And what is a conflict resolution? Conflict resolution is the process by which two or more parties reach a peaceful resolution to a dispute. In the workplace, there can be a variety of types of conflict. Conflict may occur between co-workers, between supervisors and subordinates, or between service providers and their clients or customers. And what is group leadership? A simple definition is that leadership is the art of motivating a group of people to act toward achieving a common goal in a business setting. This can mean directing workers and colleagues with a strategy to meet the organization or company's need. And what are the qualities of group leader? He is a clear communicator, strong organization skills. He should have create confidence in the team, be respectful to others, fair and kind. He should be an example of integrity. He can make influence in core areas, and he has willingness to delegate. And what are the roles of group leader? Manager, communicator, strategist, goal setter, and organizer. And what is meant by participatory leadership training? Participative leadership is a managerial style that invites input from employees on all or most company or organization decisions. The staff is given pertinent information regarding company or organization issues, and a majority vote determines the course of action the company will take. And what is group work processes? The components in group work process are intake, study, objectives, goal setting, interventions, evaluation, and follow-up. What is intake? The intake means the information gathering. So in this section, we are gathering information from all sources. And the study means analyze the information. And the objective means setting specific objectives for the process. And goal setting means desired outputs based upon these objectives. And intervention means plan intervention strategies. And evaluation means evaluate all the process. And follow-up means we can make a follow-up session in the group. And the next is program as a tool in group work. So how can we make the program as a tool in group work? Program is a concept which, when broadly conceived, includes the entire range of activities, relationships, interaction, and experience that have been deliberately planned and carried out with the help of worker to meet the needs of the individual and the group. And which are the different principles of program planning? The three main principles are, the first one is program planning should be based upon a careful analysis of a factual situation. And the second one is problems for action are selected on the basis of recognized needs of people. And the third one is objectives and solutions are to be feasible and offer satisfaction. And what is recording? The Social Work Dictionary 1995 defines recording as the process of putting in writing and keeping on file relevant information about the client system, the problem, the prognosis, the intervention, the progress of treatment, the social, economic, and health factors contributing to the situation and the procedures for termination or referral. And records help the group worker to understand the group, help the worker to understand the group as a whole, provide evidences of growth and change in the members and in the group worker himself. Recording help the worker to do more effective job with his groups. Through records, the worker can see merging and changing of interest of individual members. Through records, the worker can see the development of skills and social attitudes of members. And recording can also help to, through records, the worker gains knowledge of special problems in the group. Through record, the worker can trace out the emergence of group consciousness. Records provide content of supervisory conferences. Records are the source of future planning. Records are the source of information for other workers. Records provide a permanent and continuous register of facts for the agency. And what are the principles of social work recording? Lindsay says that the principle of flexibility is one of the principles of social group work. And the second one is principle of selection. Third one is principle of readability. Fourth one is principle of confidentiality. And the fifth one is principle of workers' acceptance. And which are the different types of recording? The first one is process recording. It means detailed reporting type of record like what happening in an interview process. And the second type is summary record, which means summary points only recorded in this type of recording. And the third one is verbatim, reproduction of factual data in individuals' own words. And the fourth one is non-verbatim, that is type of recording found in newspaper and magazines. And which are the different group work models? The first one is social model. It is designed to bring about important social gains for the group. The second one is remedial model. It tends to be clinically oriented, facilitate the interaction among members of the group to achieve change for the individual. And the third one is reciprocal model. It is serve both the individual and society. It is a combination of social model and remedial model. And what is group therapy? Group therapy is a form of psychotherapy that involves one or more therapists working with several people at the same time. This type of therapy is widely available at a variety of locations, including private therapeutic practices, hospitals, mental health clinics, and community centers. And which are the principles of group therapy? Group cohesiveness. Second one, universality. Third one, interpersonal learning. Fourth one, installation of hope. Imparting information. Corrective recapitulation of the primary family group. Second one, the next one is catharsis, and the altruism. And what is the process in group therapy? In process groups, 5 to 10 individuals meet face-to-face to share their struggles and concerns with one or two trained group therapists. The power of process group lies in the unique opportunity to receive multiple perspectives, support, encouragement, and feedback from other individuals in safe and confident environment. And what is the research in group work? Three-part special issues that explored research in group work are: the first one is methodological issues one should consider in the exploration of group research. The second one is how different research methodologies such as multi-level modeling, social network analysis, and participatory action research are conducted. And the third one is how can we explore the interaction between group members. And the last point is evaluation. Evaluation means appraising or judging the worth and effectiveness of the process or activities carried out by the group in order to meet the objectives of the group. Group work evaluation techniques are concerned with the following aspect of evaluation. The first one is evaluation of leadership in groups. Second one is evaluation of group process, evaluation of the outcomes or changes brought about in members, and evaluation of group action in terms of group goals. And evaluation may be centered upon individual growth, program content, and workers' performance. And what is the purpose of evaluation? Evaluation is essential because it enables the worker to discover to what extent group has achieved its objectives. The second one is evaluation enables the group to see both strengths and weaknesses, and it helps to discover points at which group members need to alter their procedures. And the next one is evaluation helps to formulate new objectives and to renew unsuited objectives. The next one is evaluation helps the group worker to adjust and modernize his methods of working with group. Evaluation can be stimulation to greater professional growth. Evaluation can be an extension of the learning process because its very nature is scientific and its aim is educational. That's all of my presentation. Thank you.